This performer was a fiery Southern soul diva with a penchant for dance tunes. She was a key member of the Miami-based TK Records label, which laid the framework for the disco explosion. When the disco scene faded and her career faltered, she was welcomed by the Northern Soul community and continued to create albums until she suffered a stroke in 2012, which ended her career. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Gwen McCrae. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to be sure you won't miss on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born Gwen Mosey on December 21st, 1943 in Pensacola, Florida, she is the youngest of 5 children. After her father passed young, she and her siblings were raised by their mother. She grew up singing in her Pentecostal church and eventually discovered secular artists that she grew to like, such as Sam Cooke and Aretha Franklin. As a teenager, she began playing in local bars and singing with bands such as the Lafayettes and the Independents. In 1963, she met George McCrae, a young Navy man, and married him within a week. When George was released, he reformed the Jivin' Jets, an earlier group with which he had sang, and encouraged Gwen to join them. However, George and Gwen soon split up to become a duet, appropriately named George and Gwen, and relocated to West Palm Beach to play in clubs around South Florida. Singer Betty Wright found George and Gwen in 1967 and helped them sign with Henry Stone's Austin label. Their debut song, 3 Hearts in a Tangle, it was published in 1969. In the follow-up, Like Yesterday, Our Love Is Gone.
It's gone like yesterday.
Was their first collaboration with the creative combination of Clarence Reid and Willie Clark. Both were regional hits, as was their third song, No One Left to Come Home. But none of them charted nationally. In the meantime, the McCraes and Wright were building a reputation as outstanding session vocalists. In 1970, Columbia took up one of Gwen's solo songs, the Bobby Blue Band track, Leave Me On, and it became her first top 40 R&B smash. Following that breakthrough, George briefly withdrew from singing to become her manager, and Austin leased her contract to Columbia. She recorded many additional songs over the next 4 years, but none achieved equal chart success. Columbia declined to renew McCrae's contract in 1973, and she was signed to a different Henry Stone label, the TK subsidiary Cat. She had a regional hit with He Keeps Something Groovy Going On.
Even the sweet love he gives me, I said.
In that year, and then her second national hit with the R&B Top 20 for Your Love.
Oh yes I will. Hey baby. Foolish.
However, her minor 1974 hit, It's Worth the Hurt,
Love and say, I want to love so often till I'm ashamed of myself.
was overshadowed by George's across-the-board smash, Rock Your Baby, a song originally intended for Gwen that heralded disco's arrival on the pop charts. It was Gwen's turn in the spotlight the following year when she took the Sexy Reid and Clarky composition, Rockin' Chair, all the way to the top of the R&B charts, not to mention the pop top 10.
Your rocking chair, rock me away from here. Let's get it on.
In the wake of its success, McCrae released her first ever album and scored further R&B hits with Love Insurance,
For me, especially with sweet love you're giving, yeah. Love,
and Cradle of Love.
oh baby, lay your head on my chest and relax in my love now.
And by this time, the separate successes were taking their toll on the McCrae's marriage. Gwen later alleged that her husband beat her frequently. a 1976 duet single. Winners Together, Losers Apart fell short of the R&B Top 40.
Winners together,
And a full album of duets failed to assuage matters. The couple split later that year, and Gwen scored what turned out to be her last chart hit for Cat. Damn Right Is Good.
oh, it keeps me screaming that is mine.
McCrae was rediscovered by the British Northern Soul and Rare Groove communities in the 1980s, and she returned to England in 1987 to record a few singles for Rhythm King. McCrae was pleased with her continued success in the United Kingdom and finally recorded a complete album for the British homegrown label in 1996 titled Girlfriend's Boyfriend. When she returned to America, she joined with the reconstituted Gold Wax label, which was marketed by Itchy Ben, and later that year released another album, Psychic Hotline. In 1998, Itchy Ben re-released Girlfriend's Boyfriend in the United States. She reappeared in 1999 with Still Rockin', which earned positive feedback in the blues and classic soul groups. McCrae passed on February 21st, 2025 at the age of 81. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from Gwen McCrae?